I recently finished my 8th round on the Andy Cutler Chelation protocol to handle my mercury toxicity issues, and I want to share my journey with you in the hope that it might help you on yours. This week, as well as my usual account of my week of chelation, I'll review how I feel about my journey so far, as it's now been 2 months since I started chelating. I started my 8th round of chelation last Friday morning and finished it this Monday morning. I took 3 milligrams of DMSA and ALA per dose, with doses every 3 hours or 4 hours during the night, and I'm still taking my version of the Core4 both on and off round. After a really great off round week 7, my best so far, I actually felt worse when I started round 8. Off round during week 7, I felt like I would during a good week before I started chelation, but I felt a bit lightheaded when I started round 8 on the Friday, and felt so heavy on the Saturday that I did nothing all day. Then Sunday came around and I felt motivated to make my week 7 video. All of the heavy feeling had gone. It's really strange how I can feel so different from one day to the next. Off round, I had an okay week. Not as good as week 7, but probably the second best I've had so far, so I'm really happy about that. It shows a general improvement over time and I'm excited to see where it leads. Checking in, I felt good during badminton this week as well, about as good as I did during week 7, but my sleep has been pretty difficult all week, both on and off round. Something that I haven't really mentioned before is that I often get a really weird feeling in my gums. It isn't pain, it just feels like something is kind of growing inside my gums. I think it's due to inflammation. I've had this for a long time, about 5 years or so, but I definitely noticed that I've had it more since I started chelation, and I noticed that it's worse when I have other symptoms such as poor sleep and tinnitus. I had it quite a lot this week, and I particularly noticed it on the Friday night after I started the round. I always thought that this was related to oxalate dumping, as I became pretty oxalate toxic, and I've heard that it's a dumping symptom. A couple of months before I started chelating, I got this feeling quite a lot, and I actually went to a dentist to see if there was anything wrong. The dentist gave me the all clear, and they're a private dentist that uses all of the latest tools, so I guess it's nothing to do with my teeth. I know mercury can form complexes with oxalate, so I wonder if my chelation could be breaking up deposits of mercury oxalate in my gums, releasing oxalate and causing these symptoms. I posted a question about this in both the AC Fanatics and Trying Low Oxalate groups on Facebook. Both groups are excellent sources of information on the corresponding health issues, and I highly recommend that you join them if you or your loved one has issues with mercury or oxalate. You can find links to both in the description below. A couple of people have asked about my dose in the last couple of weeks. I had my amalgam fillings removed about 5 years ago, and I had pretty intense dumping symptoms for a couple of years, so I'm pretty confident that some of the mercury load has been removed from my body. But what I haven't done is properly check to see if I have any mercury remaining in my mouth, and I'm reticent to increase my dose until I've done that. As I'm already seeing a positive trend with my chelation, I'm hopeful that I don't have another source of mercury in my mouth, but I want to check to get some extra peace of mind before I increase my dose. I plan to do that in the new year. I've now been chelating for over 8 weeks, and I've taken over 150 doses of both DMSA and ALA, so it's worth a review. My chelation journey was really tough for the first few weeks. I felt terrible pretty much constantly, but I had faith in the process and continued with it, and I'm glad that I did. I felt better week by week, and after 5 or 6 weeks I started to feel kind of okay. While I still feel worse than I did when I started chelating most of the time, I'm really optimistic about the direction I'm going in because I generally see a positive trend. My symptoms haven't been easy to live with, especially the mental ones. It's no fun knowing that I'm irritable but not being able to change that. For example, being snappy or negative with my wife or colleagues because I'm feeling so bad. I do my best to manage this, and it's the worst symptom in my view because it doesn't just have an impact on me but on those around me as well. I'm in a stage in my life where I like to devote as much time as I can to improving my quality of life and achieving financial freedom. So the impact of chelation on my motivation levels has been quite hard to bear. Sometimes it can be challenging putting these videos together because I feel demotivated, But sometimes during the week, I feel so bad. I just want someone to share their story with me and kind of help me make sense of my journey and the things that I'm going through. And I don't want anyone else to be in that position and not be able to find the reassurance that they might be looking for. So wanting to be that person that gives an honest account of their journey with a positive spin gives me the motivation that I need to continue. And it's really heartening to see that some people are watching these videos. I do hope they help. Your comments really help too. Always feel free to reach out and share your journey or ask any questions you may have. I'm always happy to help. Another tough symptom for me has been dealing with the effects of chelation on my memory. An ironic anecdote is that it took me about 10 takes to record a sentence talking about some of the symptoms I've had with my memory in one of my previous videos because I kept forgetting what I wanted to say. I've scripted all of these videos apart from one. If my memory were better, I probably wouldn't have to, but I find it helps because it's so easy for me to forget what I want to say. Chelation feels like a part of my life now. I've got into the routine and I'm getting better at not missing doses and preparing if I need to leave the house. Chelation still has a negative impact on my mood, my memory and my motivation, and it still creates some odd and uncomfortable symptoms, but I'm so glad I started the journey and I can't wait to meet myself at the end of it. As always, if you think you're mercury poisoned, I hope this account helps you convince yourself that you're not crazy, you're not alone, and you can heal. Check out the videos above to see how my journey started and what I had to say after 1 month of chelation, and see you next week.